Hey, it's Will Matthews here, the author of You've Got This, the 5 self-coaching keys you need to live boldly and accomplish anything. Welcome back to part 2 of the barriers to your success that you are unknowingly building. In our last time together, we started to peel back the onion to reveal that the economy, the market, competition, the level of team engagement or maybe lack of team engagement certainly have an effect on your ability to create results in any given quarter or year, but that they do not hold a candle to the barriers and the challenges that we throw up in our own way on our path to success. So what we're going to talk about today is what to do about that, because the good news is no matter where you are in your leadership development, you're at a place where everybody else on this planet has been, and that is finding a way to identify your fears, the ones that are driving your behavior and possibly hijacking your success, so you can then address those head on and make sure that they are right-sized and they don't affect your ability to perform, to contribute, and to impact your organization. So let's talk about an example here. In my 17 years of working with people one-on-one, I can tell you that we're all in the same boat. So feel like you're in good company. Some of the most common fears that I hear that keep people from asking for the promotion, calling out the elephant in the room when everyone there knows that something's not right, but they don't say anything because maybe it's the boss's idea or something like that. Having difficult conversations or asking for help, both at work and at home. The biggest things that stand behind those fears are things like, I'm going to be rejected. They'll say no. Then I'll be humiliated. It's better just to kind of play it safe and stay over here. That I'll be ridiculed. That I'm not enough. That there's other people who are better at this than me. So therefore I should be subservient and leave my comments to myself. I hope that's never the case for you. That my idea has to be perfect before I can display it. That what if I fail? What would that be? I don't want to fail. It's safer for me just to stay over here and be quiet or just do my job. These are the things, like if I assert myself, people are not going to see me the same way. They're used to me being this way, and now I'm changing. They're not going to be able to accept that. And all these things can keep us from going out and making the contribution that we're here to make. Let me give you an example. Doug was a client of mine many years ago, and he was in a sales team. He was part of a sales team, and he wanted to get the promotion to sales manager. And he worked hard, and he got it. And in 1 week, he went from being part of the team to leading the team. And if you've ever been in that situation or know somebody who has, you know how awkward it is when what used to be your group, your peers, now all report to you. Very, very awkward sometimes. And it can really call out those primary fears. For Doug, he really valued harmony. He didn't want to break up the harmony. He loved the team feel that he had when he was part of it, not leading it. And he also wanted people to like him. He was scared that if he asserted himself in this new way, even though he knew he had to, what was holding him back was he didn't want to shake the tree. He wanted people to like him. He wanted it to be the way it was, but he just still wanted to have that leadership role. So it was tearing him up inside, and he was very ineffective. In fact, he almost lost the job in those first few weeks because he just hadn't made the shift yet. So soon after that, we went through the same exercise that we just went through. What are those primary fears? So once we identified those, remember, lack of harmony or breaking harmony, and then secondly, that people wouldn't like him, he could address those head on and figure out a way to move forward, to support the team, to contribute to the company in a way that called him to become more. He had built some really bold, almost disruptive ideas in a positive way that actually got him the promotion, the proposed ideas. And when he started to move his focus away from, are people going to like me, and is this going to create harmony or shake up harmony, when he left that by the side of the road and moved forward and started to implement his new plans, instead of the fear that he thought, which was people not going to be on his team or feel like he was the right guy to lead, instead they could see the shift. They could see the clarity in his mind. They could see the determination. And the team got super excited and rallied behind him because they had a new vision to follow. So once he was able to dump those old beliefs and let go of what I'm going to say is the ghost that's not there. Like for instance, how long have any of us been running from a ghost that's really not even there? This concern that people aren't going to maybe like us, or will be rejected, or will be ridiculed, or we're not enough, or it's not the right time, or we should keep our role where it is. All those things are just in our own imagination. And when we break through that stuff and show up in a more powerful way, people universally support that, ultimately. Sometimes you get some bumps in the road. But the bottom line is the world, our teams, your team, is starving for genuine, authentic, strong leadership. And yet so few people actually deploy that because of their primary fears, and they haven't addressed those yet. So your goal, your challenge, if you decide to accept it for this next week, is to identify where you are seeing those places where you could step up, but you're shrinking back. Where there's something you need to say, but instead you're going to think it over forever. All those places where you're called to become more, but for whatever reason, you're falling back and saying maybe someday. Identify where those are, and then identify your own set of primary fears. What is it I really fear that would happen if I stepped up and I spoke up and I asserted myself and I brought a higher level of contribution? I shook the tree. What would really happen? Hopefully, like in Doug's example, you'll see the light that really, instead of the negative consequence you might be fearing, you might be steps away from a very, very positive experience. So that's the assignment. I can't wait to see you next time. Share your thoughts below and tell me where you're seeing yourself having the opportunity to step up to higher levels of really impactful leadership at home, at work, in your community, everywhere. Okay? All right. So this is Will Matthews, the author of You've Got This and the creator of the Instant Warrior online success course for emerging leaders. Can't wait to see you next time.